Millie, the loving wife to Moxie, definitely has more strength than one might think just by looking at her physical stature. Arguably being the best hand-to-hand combatant in IMP besides maybe the head honcho Blitz. So just how strong is this imp? The idea for this video has floated around in my head on and off for quite a bit, even getting requested a decent bit in my comment section of my Stolas and Blitz videos. I just never jumped the gun with Millie because it felt like she didn't really have enough wow factor moments to warrant an entire video dedicated to her. However, with the recent release of Season 2, Episode 3, X's and O's, it feels like we got to see more than enough of Millie to actually warrant the whole video here. A collection of action scenes that are almost on par with the ones we got from the episode Truth Seekers, at least in my opinion. I'm not going to go over every little thing she's done that's caused someone or something physical harm, but rather cover what I believe are the most notable, so if there's a chance that I don't cover something that you genuinely believe deserves to be mentioned, don't be afraid to tell me in the comments below. So, like other imps and potentially all other health spawn too, Millie has a natural fire immunity, as shown when Martha tried to light her and Blitz on fire. Neither of them suffered any kind of injury. It does make me wonder if this is just a surface fire specific thing though, because in many instances, fire in Hell has been shown to give off more of a green color. This was a thing in the Lululand episode when Blitz was fighting RoboFizz, and even in X's and O's during the Millie action scene. It's sort of a blink and you miss it scenario, but I think when Millie was plowing through the wedding chairs, green streaks of fire can be seen trailing behind the car because of how fast it was going. This combined with the M&Ms looking all beaten up and kind of burnt after the fight with the clown seems to suggest this type of fire can actually hurt them. We just haven't really seen it happen in a more blatant manner as far as I'm aware, if you get what I mean. Regeneration and slight immortality could also be a thing. This was something I don't think I mentioned in the Blitz or Stolas video, but demons down there can have the potential to regenerate lost limbs allegedly. They can't really be killed by traditional means either, allegedly. I keep saying allegedly because those two bits of info are from streams involving Viv from like 3+ years ago, and this is a time before the first actual episode of Helluva even aired, so I don't know for sure how much of that demon lore is still valid because neither of those things have been shown to happen with any of the IMP crew members as of now, or any other notable imps in Helluva for that matter. Especially since Millie literally went on a slaughter spree last episode, it makes me question that. Not really much to go off of when it comes to things like speed or other unique abilities either, unless we want to factor in reaction time into her speed, which if we do that would put her potentially around bullet level or hypersonic, I guess, since she was able to follow RoboFizz for a bit with her scope down sight. RoboFizz, of course, reacting to Blitz's bullets several times very easily earlier in the episode, even catching one in his mouth to spit it out afterwards. Like I briefly mentioned at the start, almost all of Millie's power comes from her raw physical strength with a bit of solid weapon proficiency sprinkled in. For instance, in the episode Spring Broken, she soloed a giant sea monster that was about 5 times the size she is. If I were to guesstimate, I'd say Millie's around 4 feet tall on the dot, making the sea monster roughly 20 feet tall. All it took was her to use a basic hunting knife to slice this thing open from the inside to kill it. Now, I know that monster didn't really make any progress onto the surface like that thanks to Millie, but if he did, I don't think it would be too crazy to think it would be able to destroy a small or even regular sized building. Its foot was enough to crush a regular human man to death, and its rough height is about the same as a standard building, but I'll delve more into that towards the end. During the action scenes in Truth Seekers, she was able to effortlessly slice humans in half with an axe, avoiding oncoming attacks from several of the folks at once. Not sure how much force would be required to do this exactly, but I do know the average human skull can withstand around 500 or so pounds of pressure before it's crushed, and Millie was able to cut through an entire human skeleton, so do with that what you will. If any math majors here want to take a crack at figuring the numbers out for that one, be my guest, because I'm not afraid to admit I'm definitely not smart enough to do so. Millie's durability is a weird one because that stat in particular seems like it's gotten better over time. Like in episode 1, she was knocked out pretty easily by Ralphie the Hillbilly, with the only thing used against her being an empty beer bottle, yet just recently in X's and O's, she got up almost instantly after being sent flying via chair into the windshield of a car. I guess it wasn't a direct blow to the head like the bottle was, but still. That looks like a more powerful strike to me. So since this episode is more recent, I definitely use this scenario to argue her durability over what happened in Murder Family. Now, her fight in the X's and O's climax might have been one of her coolest moments in the entire show. She single-handedly killed around 12 to 13 shark demons using mostly her bare hands against them, with a couple exceptions like when she literally picked up Blitz and used his horn to slice one open. Right at the start, she effortlessly ripped the face off one of those sharks. If these sharks go by similar anatomy of regular sharks, that would make this guy's skin anywhere between 4 to 6 inches inches thick. For comparison, human skin is only 1/12 to 1/5 of an inch thick on average. I'd argue that being able to do this is actually more impressive than ripping out the other shark's skeleton and bending its jaw in half, because according to science, shark skeletons are actually mostly made up of cartilage rather than bone. Cartilage is a very flexible yet still strong form of connective tissue that's also in humans. However, cartilage is not as hard or as tough as bones are. This feat further backs the fact that these demons do share similar, if not identical, anatomies to the regular sharks because of how Millie was able to make that one guy's spine act like a lasso without it snapping in half. I find it very interesting how it seems like Millie only really seems to go all out against someone or something if Moxie's safety is involved, you know? To me, it felt like she was fighting much more seriously here than she was in Truth Seekers, and that could be a result of Moxie not being in a whole lot of danger during that part of the episode, especially with Blitz having his back on top of that. Even at the end of all that shark slaughter, not even Crimson wanted to mess with Millie. Marrying Moxie off to Chaz was something he was willing to kill both Moxie and Millie over if they were to walk away. Yet after seeing what Millie was capable of, Crimson just let her walk off with his son, which I think could be taken one of two ways. Either Crimson believes he doesn't have the strength to beat Millie in a 1v1 after seeing what she did to his men, or Crimson just didn't think the situation was worth it in the moment anymore and could try his hand at it another time. But I'm more willing to give Millie the benefit of the doubt in this instance when it comes to her strength, because in that moment in time, Crimson was still under the impression that Chaz was rich. This was something he really wanted to get done. However, losing his own life over it doesn't seem worth it, so he just let Millie go. So with everything laid out in the open, I'd have to say Millie is around building level at best. The killing of various sharks was great eye candy, yes, but I'd say Millie killing the giant anglerfish is her biggest feat of strength. It's hard to say if I'd consider her the overall strongest member of the IMP gang though. It almost feels like a coin toss between her and Blitz. It seemed like Blitz was able to hold his own better against Striker, a guy who beat both Millie and Moxie at one point, yet I can't say for sure if I could see Blitz killing that giant anglerfish on his own or defeating all those sharks on his own. He probably could, I guess, but there's just no real way to know for sure. I suppose that's just the motto for power scaling in general, huh? I think that just about covers everything I wanted to say about Millie. As someone who is completely up to date with the series, I would definitely like to do one of these for Moxie or Luna at some point, but as of right now, it feels like those two are still in a similar boat of where Millie used to be, where they just haven't had a whole lot of solo moments to truly shine in combat or the destruction of things. Perhaps if Moxie actually got to go toe-to-toe with his father, there'd be more to talk about. I'm still a bit salty about that, but oh well. I'm sure once more episodes will release, there'll be more material related to him. Surely the Striker rematch episode has Moxie showing off some skills we haven't seen yet, right? Surely. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't be a stranger in hitting that like button down below if you enjoyed this video as well. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.